Hey guys, back again with another one. I wanted to introduce you to my miscellaneous toolkit. And in my miscellaneous toolkit, I have things that make my life much easier. Now, could I do without most of it? Yeah, I probably could. But do I want to? No. And I'll tell you, and I'll show you why. And you'll see the reason why when I get to it. First thing I want to do is let you know that this doesn't all necessarily fit in one bag. I have two little bags that I use. One's this side and one's about twice this size. Depending on what the item is depends on, you know, what the bag is going to be. So first thing I have is this is a bucket hanger. Okay, it's just a loop with a snap. And what you do is you can hang stuff like that. You run it through, and then you can snap whatever you want to hang it up. Okay, this I had when I had my horses because I can hang a bucket on a fence with this. So I've got a bucket hanger. Okay, I have a collapsible bucket in my gear, and so therefore I want to be able to hang it up. And there might not always be a stump of a little limb real handy to hang it up with. So I have a bucket hanger. Okay. Now the next thing I have is a little scraper. This scraper may or may not ever be used for much. It might just be used to scrape out my pan when I'm getting ready to clean it out. But if I need to do a little digging, I've got this, and then I have a little stainless steel folding handle shovel. Okay, like if I'm trying to make a bed and it's not real smooth. Okay, and it's got a lump in the middle of it. I want to dig that out. I've got this in order to dig that out. I've had this little stainless steel tool, this little stainless steel shovel for a long time, and it's never messed up on me. It's always worked just fine. It's super lightweight. It's very small. Okay, it's super thin. It takes up little to no room. Okay, so it's worth it. Now I have another shovel that's about, well, you can't see it in the mirror, but it's about that long. It's got the little square part where you hold on. It's a little shovel. It's about that wide, and it's a small shovel. And that I plan on having with me as well, but that's in the other room, and I didn't want to go get it and hold a shovel up and try to show it to you guys. Everybody knows what a shovel looks like. Now, this is a hole punch. This is supposed to go on my repair kit that I just did a video on, and I'll put that in there now because I just found it. You know, it's just a little hammer punch. It's a hole punch. I got this at Harbor Freight. I had a whole set of them. Over the years, I've lost all but this one. Now I have a file to keep it sharp in my gun cleaning kit and my sharpening kit. I have a file. I can keep this sharp, so I can keep this. To where I can punch a hole. Like if I have to make a new bag, okay, I might need a hole in the corners so I can tie it extra hard so that it doesn't come loose. And I can use the back of my axe for this, you know, to hammer through off of a stump of a tree or something, so I can make a hole. Okay. So I'm going to put that off to the side right there because that goes in my repair kit. Now that I remember that I just did a video on that. So the next thing I have is a razor. Now this is one's got the breakaway blades. Okay. There's a lot of reasons to use one of these. First of all, it saves the edge on your good knives. Okay. It saves the edge on your pocket knife. These get, you know, you can break these off as they get dull. Real handy to have. And then of course I have spare blades. Okay, I got a bunch of them. These will last a long time. And this isn't one of those cheap cheesy plastic ones. Okay, this is a cobalt one. I got it from when I worked at Lowe's, and it came with this right here. This has never had anything taken out of it. It's brand new. And I put that in there to, well, I said I put that in there. Okay, there we go. And I had bought this a long time ago with these 50 extra blades. And this keeps it all together. It keeps me from cutting myself. I can reach in my pack and I don't have to worry about it. So that's that. This goes in my repair kit. Okay, this is just a little. I have a little Phillips head, a little straight one, and now this one's a Phillips head. Okay, that one goes in there with the hole punch because that's what I meant to have that for. Now, in this miscellaneous toolkit, I have a little small slide locking joint pliers, pliers. Okay. Now this can be done. This can be used for a lot of different things. These are not strong enough to be going and trying to break loose a great big rusty nut. Okay, it's not going to work good for that, but it works good for lots of other things. They're lightweight. They're lighter than most pliers, which is why I wanted them in my pack. Okay, what's that say? I can't tell what that says. Something Mart. Anyway, got that in there. Now I have tarp clips. Okay, you guys probably know how those work. You slide this down, you put the tarp in there, and then you cinch it down on there. And it's got little teeth. I don't know if you can see that. It's got little teeth. Can you see that? Yeah, maybe a little. It's got little jagged teeth on the inside so it grips it. Okay. You know, everybody says I've got a tarp for shelter, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's great. But what if the grommets rip out? Okay. Now plan on, when I get my tarp, I'm going to get some webbing, and I'm going to sew webbing across where the ridgeline goes. So when I pull on that, I'm not pulling on the tarp, I'm pulling on the webbing. And I'm going to sew it around the edges too, so that it protects the edges, so that I'm always pulling on other webbing rather than on the nylon tarp. But on the off chance that I need these, I've got 4 of them. 1 for each corner. Or 4 down one side if one side rips out. Depends on if it's a real super windy. You know, everybody knows you get windstorms. Okay? Flat out, windstorms. Everybody that's ever been in a camping situation for very much or had a tarp, they know all about wind. These are handy. They don't weigh much. They take up a little bit of room, but it's not something that I can easily replicate in the field. Yeah, I could probably do it. Okay? But it wouldn't be near as effective, and it wouldn't have this nice tie-out hole on the other end where I could tie a piece of paracord to it easily to stretch it to a tree or whatever the case may be. Or if I have to, if I let's say I kill a raccoon and I eat that sucker, right? Because if you're going to kill it, you better eat it. You don't want to be killing stuff if you're not going to eat it. Well, what if I want to stretch the hide up to dry, like a clothesline? You could use this. Okay, put your clothes in there. Now the next thing I have is 4 S-binders. Okay, these are night eyes S-binders. Okay, use them for many different things. Okay, to attach things and lengthen things, and I've got 4 of them. The reason I got 4 of them is because that's all the money I had on me when I bought them, or I'd have probably bought more. But there's 4 of them. Now these weigh a little bit, but these are 100-pound capacity. Okay, for this. It's 100 pounds, this thing will hold. It's not going to be good for rappelling or anything like that. Not that I know how to do that, which I don't. But this will hold pretty much anything that I want it to hold. Okay. Now the next thing I've got are these cord locks. Okay. Or I guess they're called cord locks. Anyway, these right here, I've got these for my ridge lines. Okay. These are the coolest thing. Okay. Let me find a piece of cord here. All right. Now, how did that work? Oh, yeah. It's got a hole. You put it down through there. You run it through. And then you pull this back. Okay. Can you see that? And the cord gets underneath it. And it locks it down where you can't pull it. Okay. But if you need to, you can it'll let it go one way, but not loosen up until you pull this little lever right here. Okay. And then it'll let it go. So if I tie a little loop around a tree and hook this to it, and I got my ridge line, okay, and I put my ridge line in here, I can really tighten that sucker up and it's not coming loose. I don't have to worry about those knots, just the slide knots that lock this works. I got 2 of these. These are also made by Night Eyes. Okay, I got the S-binders and these at Lowe's. Okay, they had them there in the rope and chain department. I can't remember what these cost. Probably $4 or $5 a piece, but they're super handy. Super handy. I've already used them several times camping, and it makes a big difference. If I want to stretch a tarp out and I need a ridge line, that's what I use these for. Okay. these. Next I have some of these cheap aluminum carabiners. These won't hold much weight. They just basically will attach things to your pack or attach things to each other so that you don't lose them. Okay? They are literally cheap and cheesy. Very, very cheap. These were bought at Harbor Freight. Okay, and everybody knows their stuff's not really great. Yeah, some of it's all right, I guess. But anyway, I've got a bunch of these. And I've even got more. I've got 5 times this because I bought a couple of those multi-packs. But I just put these in here, just a little assortment of sizes that I thought I might need if I needed those. Of course, I still have these. So, and then the next thing are these little clips. Now, these little clips are the handiest little clips you ever saw. Okay, they're really strong, real strong. And I believe I got these at Harbor Freight as well. And it was some cards. It was like, I don't know, 30 or 40 of them on there. Anyway, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 of them in here. And if I could find the others, I'd probably put those in there too. Because these work for all kinds of things. You use them for clothespins. You can use them to hold together something while you're getting ready to sew it back together. You can use these as almost like to hem it. Like if you could just put those on there and then you could sew it. Okay, it wouldn't go anywhere. Very strong. You can use them for chip clips. I use a couple of them in there for chip clips. You can use them to, on my dehydrated food, if this little Ziploc thingy didn't work, I could use this to hold it shut. Okay. So these little clips are super, super handy. They weigh practically nothing. Okay. If this whole handful weighs a ½ an ounce, Bob's your uncle. So, now I haven't decided whether I want to do this, but I had some bigger clips. I don't think I'm going to put those in there because these are kind of bulky and they take up a lot of room and I may not have the room for them. Okay. I got 3 or 4 of them, but I don't think I'm going to probably use them. I'm just going to leave them off to the side. And if I end up having room in my pack, then they might go in. But there's a lot of other things that I'd probably rather have in there than this. So this is just a little miscellaneous toolkit I thought I would go over and tell you guys all about, in case you guys hadn't thought of it. Or like these cord lock thingies. These are seriously cool. Okay, if you don't have these for your kit, you need them. Okay, you just need these things, especially if you're like me and can't remember all the knots and the different things. You know, these are very well constructed. They're heavy duty. They do the job. I've used them and they do the job. Now, long term, they're going to last for years. Okay, if you take care of them. Okay, like with any tool, if you don't take care of them, they're not going to last. But if you take just this much care with all your stuff, then it's going to last. If this black paint starts wearing off and it looks like it might start being rusty, you want to put a little oil on it. Okay, you don't want to over tighten. You know, you can get them super tight. You can put some pressure on this, but there is a possibility you could over tighten it, especially if you're a big strong guy. I don't know that I could, but it's possible, I guess. Or if you get your ridge line up and a bull elk runs through your camp and runs into it and clotheslines himself, yeah, that might tear it up. But, you know, chances of this getting tore up is pretty slim. It's well constructed. So anyway, I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Check out my links down below for an EMP shield unit, $50 off. And y'all come back and see me.